All right. So Joe Diorio is a guitar player that's had such a huge influence on me, and I've learned so much stuff from him and from reading his etude books and transcribing some of his solos. And of all of the different things that I've learned, this line has always been one of my most favorite things that he's done. And this is actually from a book that he wrote called Fusion Guitar, where in the book, what he does is he takes a standard and he writes two different solos over the standard. He does one that's a little bit more straightforward and then one that's more modern sounding. And this one he does over blue bossa. So this line is happening over the minor 251 to C minor in blue bossa. And this line just has such a cool sound. It's got a lot of fourths going on, and the way that he does the pattern within the fourths kind of has like this almost like falling down the stairs sort of sound to me. So we're starting out over the D minor 7 flat 5 chord, and we start with this little like triplet sweep. It's a little tricky. So the fingering that I'm doing, I'm starting with my middle finger on the A flat on the second string, your 9th fret, and then my ring finger goes to D on the first string, 10th fret, and then you go back to the A flat. So articulation wise, what we're doing in the right hand is we do a downstroke and then two up strokes, so like two up sweeps. So it's like a very tiny little sweep. Kind of hard to do on its own. When you do it in the context of the line, it gets a little bit easier. And then after you do those two sweeps, then you do a downstroke on the G note on the second string with your pointer finger. Okay, now from this point on, he does this little descending fourths pattern. But if we look at those first couple notes in relation to the D minor 7 flat 5 chord, he's going from the flatted 5th up to the root, back to the flatted 5th. And then we could think of that as the 11. All right. Now this is how the pattern works. So I'll start from the G. It goes. That's like that falling down the stairs kind of sound that I was talking about. So what we do there is when we land on that G with our pointer finger, this is the fingering I came up with. Pointer finger on G, and then just go up a fourth. So put your pointer finger on C on the first string, and then slide it down a fret to B. So now we have, and then your pointer finger goes to F sharp on the second string. So, and technically if you wanted to, I wouldn't recommend doing it like this. I don't think it's the best fingering, but basically the pattern is, right, you're just alternating. You go down a fourth, up a fourth, down a fourth, up a fourth. You keep moving it down chromatically. But the fingering that I came up with kind of stays more around the 8th position. So we have. Now from here, I put my ring finger on F on the 3rd string, 10th fret, and my pinky goes to B flat on the next string. Then go down a half step, put your ring finger on A. Middle finger goes to E on the 3rd string, and then pointer finger goes down a fret to E flat. So now we have, and then middle finger goes to A on the 2nd string, and then down a half step to G, and that ends the 4th sequence right there. There's more to the line, but that's where the 4th part ends. So we have, okay. So in terms of analyzing what's going on theory-wise over that 4th pattern, I wouldn't necessarily try to like look at it intervallically against the chord and how all of the notes are lining up. I would say it's more so that he just took this 4th pattern and he kept descending it, and then eventually he found a spot where he could do like a nice smooth resolution to get to the C minor chord, because the way it resolves is just perfectly. But if you look at a lot of these notes in relation to like the D half diminished and the G7 chord, you're going to see a lot of notes that aren't necessarily within the scale or within the key that you would normally associate it with. So I would say it's more just an outside pattern that eventually resolves itself to an inside sound, which Joe is just a master at doing stuff like that. So we have, and then from here we put our pointer finger on E flat on the 3rd string, go down a fret to D, and then ring finger plays F on the 3rd string, and then pointer finger goes to E flat. Once we hit that E flat, that's when it resolves to the C minor chord, right? So like I was saying, we have all of this, crazy 4th stuff going on, and then towards the end, once he gets to here, he goes, right? So he just plays a nice clear resolution to get to the C minor chord. And that's a big part of what playing outside is. You can almost kind of get away with anything you want as long as you resolve it properly and it has a nice clear resolution, so. Now from here, once we get to that C minor chord, there's a little bit more fourth stuff going on. So after that E flat, our ring finger jumps down to G on the 5th string, and we go up 2 sets of fourths. So we do ring finger on G, ring finger goes up to C, and ring finger goes up to F. So if you didn't know this already, a lot of what fourths are on the guitar is just playing the same fret on the next string, with the exception of the 2nd string, right, because of the way the tuning is. So, and then he just goes down like this. So you just go down a set of fourths. You do your middle finger on B and E, and then go down a half step to B flat and E flat. So you could see that within like the C minor home position, right? You just have the 4th right here. Go down a half step, go down another half step. So these two technically aren't outside. It's just this middle one, right? But he's using it as like a passing set of fourths. And then you land on C for the last note to get a resolution to the root note. So... Okay, so that is our line for this week, and I highly recommend that you check out that book, Fusion Guitar, one of my all-time favorite solo etude books. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks a lot for checking out the episode. I hope you enjoyed the lick, and I hope you learned something. And if you would like to donate to my Patreon and help support the channel, you can do so at patreon.com/MikeGaudetteMusic. And that's it for this week. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys at the next episode. Take care.